Hey everybody, Randy Kurtz here for the ISB with the tip of the month. So this month I'd like to talk about getting into the new year and getting into good habits, and rather than review a lot of the stuff that we sort of rehash around this time of the year, I'd like to talk about something that's pretty simple that we can all adapt very easily and which may help greatly. I'm talking about bending your knees. So we tend to adopt, just as I am right now, a fairly rigid stature when we're standing somewhere. When we stand for too long, we tend to lean to one side or the other to stabilize because we become fatigued. And if we're standing in a position for long periods of time during the day or many hours, we tend to go to that position and then go to our sort of fallback position if we're going to be standing behind a counter or playing a bass for many hours during the day or at a time. So by bending the knees in getting ready to stand for long periods of time or to play, it's good because you don't have to do too much. When I say bend the knees, it's not like we're going to bend down so much like that, but just a little bit. I'm not focusing particularly on the knees in the screen here because I think you get the idea. All I'm trying to do is just bend a little bit rather than remain rigid. So how this comes into play is if I go and get ready to play and I bend a little bit like so, what's going to happen is that I am balancing myself out on both feet here so that I'm going to be moving from side to side, and this is going to keep it loose and supple rather than being rigid, meaning that if I'm standing like this, even if I start out with good intentions with my feet evenly balanced while playing the instrument, what I'm going to do is after a short period of time, because of that rigidity, I'm going to lean to one side or the other, and then that side will become rigid and I will sort of plant myself there and play accordingly. This way, if my knees are bent, not only, and again, just the slightest bit, as you can kind of see how I'm moving up and down when I'm bending the knees. If I do get fatigued and I do go to that place where I'm going to sort of plant myself on one side or the other, or even if I start out like that, when I get there, I'm not going to have that rigidity, and therefore my body is not going to be able to hold me up as long or as much because it's not going to have that one solid sort of chain going down, the hip, the knee, the foot, etc., etc. It's not going to be one, again, rigid system, but rather there's going to be a little break in it with that bend of the knee. That will not make it as stable and will remind me to move around a bit, to move back to center, to move around to the side as that. So not only does that keep us limber and loose and moving around, but also it doesn't allow us to get so comfortably into that position where we just stay there, and which, as we talked about before, can cause back pain, knee pain, etc., etc. So keep the knees bent a little bit when you start, and that will keep you moving around as you're playing the instrument and keep you from getting in a position where, again, you're going to stay rigid in one place, and which can cause back pain, etc., etc. So Happy New Year. Randy Kurtz for the ISB, always available at DRKERTZ at DRKERTZ.com. We've got the ISB convention coming up in a few months. Please send me any ideas you may have for something you may want to include in my lecture that I'll be presenting. And make sure that if you're around and you're able to attend the lecture, I would love to see you there. And again, Happy New Year. Hope it's a great one for everybody. Randy Kurtz signing off. My book, The Basis Guide to Injury Management, Prevention, and Better Health, always available from your association and at my site, and now as an ebook through my site and basebooks.com. See you next time.